Today we will be talking about the leprosy. Leprosy is the last disease we are studying under the WHO programs. Now, see, till now, we whichever disease we all have studied are rather endemic, and also leprosy is also endemic disease, and it was very much widespread into the India. What is the general term or local language we call for the leprosy? It is the code. Okay, we always say it is the code. Now, when we talk about the leprosy, so it is caused by the microbacterium leprae. See, students, it is very important to remember the causing agent. Till now, we had studied about the polio, then smallpox, then we talk about the malaria, then leprosy. So this type of microorganism can be asked causing agent and then the disease. So this way the it can be asked for the match the columns. Okay, or even it can be asked for your this MCQs. So how to remember? Simply make one chart. In that you write the name of disease, then type of the causing agent, that is the germs, and name like polio virus. Then what is the name of the virus? Polio virus का नाम क्या है? That is polio mellitus. Then फिर उसके बाद में second we will be writing smallpox. Then smallpox is caused by the virus. Name of the virus is variola virus. Then third disease is malaria, we have learned. Then you will write malaria. In the next column we will be writing protozoa, then plasmodium vivax. Then next the last disease leprosy. Then you will write the bacteria, then microbacterium leprae. Understood? This way you will be making one column today itself. And remember, this is very important if the question is asked on the MCQ basis. Understood? Now, when we talk about the chronic infection, student note down the term chronic infections means it lasts for the long time, or it lasts till the death. Understood? And when we talk about the acute infection, that means this infection is for a certain period or a certain part of the life. So this is a chronic infection. That means it lasts till the death of a patient. Now, how it is caused? It is caused by the Mycobacterium leprae. Now, where it affects, it is very important to understand where it affects, what is the mode from where the virus is entering. So, it affects the peripheral nervous system. We have central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system consists of our brain and the spinal cord, and from the spinal cord the nerves goes to the all part of the body, and it carries the signals to the spinal cord, and spinal cord send that messages to the central nervous system. So in short, peripheral nervous system is widespread in the entire body. So it affects or it attacks on the peripheral nervous system. When we talk about the disease spread, so this disease is widespread, but in the actually it was pandemic. Say students, pandemic and endemic. It means pandemic means the disease which is widespread in entire country or the world. Understood? That means the prevalent. It is spreaded, widespread everywhere. And when we talk about the endemic, that means the disease is having prevalence or it is spreaded in a certain area. Understood? एक particular area में फैलने वाली disease को endemic बोला जाएगा. So this was initially it was pandemic. It was widespread in throughout the world, but India was the high burden country, and because of that, a special global leprosy program which was launched by WHO. So when it is made or it is designed by WHO. So definitely the team was made into the WHO. But as India was the high burden country, so from the WHO, where is the WHO headquarters, students? We have learned the headquarters of WHO is in Geneva, Switzerland. So from the Switzerland, the team which was made for the global leprosy program, they come into the India on July 1st, 2005, and then after they evolved the strategy to reduce and control this particular disease, and this leprosy burden was handled by using the Dapnos monotherapy. See, monotherapy means they were using particular dose of Dapnos to treat, but when they were using this Dapnos, so they designed that particular program as National Leprosy Control Program. Okay, so this National Leprosy Control Program was launched in India by using Dapnos therapy. This is also very important to remember for the MCQ point of view, that the in this NCLP, it is used or it is designed on the basis of the Dapnos monotherapy, or even it can be asked Dapnos monotherapy, then dash. So you must remember Dapnos monotherapy was used for the treatment of the leprosy. Understood? Now, when we talk about the this strategy, means how they were doing. So when they were giving this particular monotherapy single drugs, when they were doing, so they did not found the satisfactory result. And we all know that whenever any disease comes, so first we try one particular medicine over it, and when if it works, then that medicine gets settled. Understand? Like when we talk about the malaria, so now we have the definite particular doses for the malaria for the treatment. So from the years, insulatrace extraction has been used for the treatment of the malaria, but this monotherapy was not sufficient, and the working group constituted by the government of India to eradicate the leprosy, they submitted their report in the year 1982, and after studying the report, they revised the strategy. Understood? And after the revision of that particular uh, report, means when they read the committee which was made for the eradication of the leprosy, they read the particular report, they understood that this particular monotherapy is not sufficient. Monotherapy means they were using the single drug, that is Dapnos, for the particular reason. Then they designed a new therapy, and that new therapy was multi-drug chemotherapy. And this MDT, multi-drug chemotherapy, they used for the treatment of the leprosy in the year 1983. And this particular program was renamed or redesigned as the National Leprosy Eradication Program. Now, this regimes and recommendation was given by WHO, and then thereafter this particular thing was adapted for operational and administrative requirement. Understood how it happens? Now see, where we will revise quickly once again. First, India was the high burden country. As India was the high burden country, so the team from the WHO Geneva, they came to the India in the Delhi, and in Delhi they just make one team of NCLP, and they, after designing it, they just gave the Dapnos monotherapy. And when the yearly report, means after taking all the efforts with the Dapnos monotherapy and all, they just make one report, and that report was submitted in the year 1982. And after submission of that report, it was found that Dapnos monotherapy is insufficient for the treatment of the leprosy, then this particular program was redesigned, and the team which was made, that is the National Leprosy Eradication Team, that team has redesigned the particular treatment, and that treatment was the multi-drugs chemotherapy, and the program was reshaped or redesigned as NLEP, that is the National Leprosy Eradication Program, in the year 1983. When we talk about the functions of NLEP, what they were doing, so they were providing the free domiciliary treatment. Domiciliary treatment means ghar jaake treatment देंगे. They were giving the free domiciliary treatment with the MDT in endemic district. Endemic district means high burden districts where the disease was very much dominant, through the specially trained staff, because this was a very major disease, so they trained the staff accordingly. Now you might have seen, currently the world is facing the pandemic COVID-19, so they have trained the staff, those who are handling the patient, right? Their funeral and everything is being done by them. Why? Because they are trained. Understood? So same way for the treatment of leprosy, a special team of trained staff has been made. This team is made by NLEP, and this particular team was going home to home to the high burden district area people, and they were providing the free treatment for this particular disease. Now this is about the endemic district. Now moderate means high burden endemic district, but where the disease was moderate to low, so in there those area moderate to low endemic district, they were providing the services through the mobile leprosy treatment unit. Mobile leprosy treatment unit means they were having the ambulance type vehicle in which they were setting up all their requirements, and this mobile leprosy treatment unit was given in the moderate to low. So you need to remember what action was taken by NLEP. NLEP, they were providing the free domiciliary treatment with MDT, that is the multi-drug chemotherapy, in the endemic, matlab high load endemic district through the specially trained staff, and in moderate to low endemic district they were providing services through the mobile leprosy treatment. That means they set up their particular hospital, or you can say the treatment unit, into the high burden area, and in the moderate to low burden area they were using the mobile unit. Understood? So now, after all these efforts, the progress was uneven. In some state, program was appraised as the modified leprosy elimination campaign in the year 9, because see the thing was the disease what must be eradicated completely. After taking all such efforts, the some area the progress was uneven, means in some area the disease was eradicated, but it was there in the some area. So definitely they need to revise the program. So the program was revised as modified, you can say appraised also, because when we add some modification which raise the, or you which appraise the performance, so that is modified leprosy elimination campaign in the year 1997, where the states were divided into the three categories as endemic state, moderate to low endemic state, and very low endemic state. Now see, this was very much important, and this is always done when there is any type of endemic or pandemic. Why? Now you might have seen that in the case of corona also, the area was divided as red zone, green zone, and all. So what it means, it is nothing but considering the areas as per the low burden or high burden of the patient. So same way the areas where the patients were high. Means what they did, they counted the patients and they marked the states with the high burden, moderate to low burden, and very low burden. So when the area is very much low burden, so there is only one or two mobile unit is okay, but when which are the high burden area, they need to be taken care. So this way they have just divided the particular areas. Now special, thereafter they did the special action project for elimination of leprosy for the rural and leprosy elimination campaign for the urban areas, and they set up it function from 2001 to 2004. See, now this particular program was very much needed, because the thing is, until and unless the disease is not rooted out, it will come again and again. So they make special action project for the elimination of leprosy. This particular project was set up into the rural area, and leprosy elimination campaigns, it was set up into the urban areas. All these programs, all this setup were maintained from the year 2001 to 2004. The first two phases of NLEP was funded by World Bank, and it was completed in the 2004. The project was continued on the same guidelines with the Government of India funds and support from the WHO and International Federation of Leprosy Elimination. Because see, if any pandemic is there, so the country budget is only cannot afford a particular disease. You might have seen that initially when the COVID was spread, so you might have seen that all the railway station and many areas, they set up the COVID centers where they were giving the free COVID test, and they were giving the free treatment also in some areas. But it was up to the patient where either whether they want to go to the government set up centers or they wanted to go for the private. So who was affording all this treatment? These all treatments are very costly. So only the government budget cannot afford all these things. So sometimes the this particular thing was taken care by the WHO. So in the case of the India, the fund was supported from the WHO as well as the International Federation of the Leprosy Elimination. As I told you that it was pandemic, so whenever there is any type of pandemic, so international level team is set up, or you can say the committee is been made. That particular committee take care of that particular disease. So what would be the outcome? So outcome was high burden to the low burden, because in India it was into the transition from high burden country to the low burden country. But still, some states it have the higher prevalence rate. It's still spreading in many states of India. So this is all about the leprosy, and actually we have completed all the diseases of the WHO. So we have learned about the polio in the beginning, then thereafter we have studied about the smallpox, malaria, leprosy. These all diseases are very important your exam point of view. So for this note we'll stop.